Jam dah siap kemudian saya dengar tadi ada yang belum makan lagi
Belum.
Kita apa? Pukul 10 kita makan nanti
Right.
So welcome to training hazard identification for operations and maintenance workers Untuk saya fahamkan ini training yang diminta lah oleh I think your team. Pada saya memang ini topik yang very important So it's very pertinent, especially yang bekerja di operasi dan maintenance So I think it's good that you guys are here. So it's a 2-day training, full day. So please be here on both days. Kalau you datang hari ini saja, datang esok, you will miss a lot lah trainer for that training. Tapi besides training, I also do a lot of consultancy work lah. So my background predominantly oil and gas, Petronas, Shell, semua dah dalam lah 20 lebih tahun lah so Malaysia and also some overseas as well. Chartered engineer, and like I said, I do a lot of consultancy work as well. So a lot of my work, selain daripada technical engineering, I also do a lot of work dalam safety lah and also process safety. So that's why I'm here today, because safety is something that I work a lot. So my first job, my job memang macam you all, saya dalam daripada 24 tahun saya dah bekerja, dalam 22 tahun tu dalam plant lah. Dalam plant, my first job is on shift, sama macam many of you 12-hour shift. Okay? So you have to be present. So ada satu saying ni, what I hear I forget, what I see I remember, and what I do I understand. So kalau you dengar sahaja, you will absorb some, tapi data shows that you akan lupa lah. Kalau dengar saja. Kita manusia kan, kita semua manusia, you will forget. If you hear and you see, tengok slide, tengok video, you see and you hear, you will remember more. But if you see, you hear and you do, kita akan ada focus. So they want you to bring you out of your normal work environment, come to the hotel here so that you can really focus. So please focus your full time on it. And like I said, and answer if ask questions if any time you're not sure. Remember, because I say I'm a trainer kan, tapi actually I am a learning facilitator. Maknanya I'm trying to help you to learn, tapi saya tak boleh paksa you all learn. So you have to absorb and take in what I share. So that's important. Okay. So but at the same time kita tak naklah buat training terlalu serius kan. Nak kita topik is of course serious, tapi kita buat cara yang relax lah, santai kan. Because topik ni penting So be engaged, the discussion, jangan malu-malu, angkat tangan, answer the questions. This is a safe environment. So ask any questions. No question is a stupid question. Kalau salah pun tak apa. This is why you're here. Kita nak learn and get better. Be involved, be participative. Enjoy the session. Kita tak nak terlalu serius juga. Tapi yang lastly saya nak reiterate lah, yang ni penting. Last point. Kita duduk sini, kita dengar, kita belajar, tapi learning without application tak ada benefit lah kan. Kita belajar sebab kita nak improve. Apa-apa kita belajar, kita nak improve. So whatever you learn today, whatever you take away from today and tomorrow, think about apa you will do differently bila you balik kerja nanti. Translate what you learn into planned action. So I always tell all the training that yang saya buat is, kalau you datang training, at least by the end of tomorrow, at least have 1 or 2 things that you will say, I will do differently from next week onwards. I will stop doing something that's not right from next week onwards. Or I will do certain things differently from now on. At least you dah translate your learning into concrete actions. Then baru kita improve kan. Baru learning tu will create value for you. So think about it. Apa 1, 2, 3 benda yang you will do differently lepas training as you go through the training. So that's the thing about that. Okay, like I said, along the way ni kita akan banyak soalan. Saya ada Q&A, ada discussion. So ini bukannya jadi training yang duduk dengar je, tak, bukan. Tak ada. Ni memang you akan kena get involved. Soalan, discussion dan so on. Okay. So I tahu you dah letak nama semua ada, tapi I still think it's good to have a very quick introduction. So what I want you to do is each of you, I will call one by one. Kita tak take turns lah ya. State your name. Kalau you nak letak fun name ke apa boleh lah ya. Tapi okay, fantastic, Farah ke, Jovial, Johan ke, you know. Yang fun sikit lah, you know. Yang rasa macam kena dengan hati sendiri kan. So kalau dia, what's your role dekat Osim? Yeah, so that I know your background a bit. Tapi what also important, saya nak tahu apa expectation you daripada training ni. Yeah? Apa expectation you from this training? You nak belajar certain things ke, you nak tahu certain things ke, you know? So that saya tahu apa you're looking for lah. Yeah? Boleh? So ambil 2 minit, just think about that. Then we will go down one by one. Yeah? Just take 2 minutes to think about it. So think about what you want to take away from this training lah, expectation kan. Alright, jom kita start. Meja mana nak start dulu? Any volunteers? Apa tak kita start dari meja ni lah. Jom, kita dari dulu ni boleh? Boleh. Okay. Come. Boleh? Diri.
Okay. Call aja. Okay, my name Faizal. You can call me Faizal only. Role play in Osim, I do a job as a technician, involved with equipment and operation line making. Expectation from this training, I would like to gain more knowledge about the hazard inside.
Knowledge about hazard inside.
That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Faizal. Thank you. Next one.
My name is Farid. They call me John.
Apa? Pak?
John.
Juan.
No. Nama dia sudah John, jadi saya panggil saya sendiri John saja.
John saja. Okay, boleh. John.
What role do I play? I was a technician. I'm a new member, so not much side. What I can expect from this training that I can gain more knowledge. I can comply at my own side.
Comply with the requirements outside. Okay, thank you, John. Next one. Boleh.
Very good morning. My name is Jeffrey. You call my name Jeff.
Jeff. Okay, nama kelama Jeff lah. Okay.
same well,
Okay.
yes, Malaysia not only Malaysia, Indonesia, so far working in same around 5 years lah.
Okay.
Experience 5 years same. Before this, experience 6 years lah.
Okay.
Total experience about 11 years lah. Okay. My expectation from this training,
Apa expectation dia?
sama juga lah.
Sama juga. Sama macam mana? Sama.
Okay. Sorry lah suara saya.
Sama. Apa expectation? Ya.
Resah. Expectation from training ini saya dapat lebih knowledge lagi tentang hazard dekat plant dan tahu comply dekat site lah.
Okay.
Itu saja. Thank you.
Alright. Sama macam tadi lah. Okay. Thank you. Next one, please.
Good morning. My name is Elfera. You can call me Farah.
Sarah.
My role in OSIM is DCS engineer for TCS and utility section. My experience is in OSIM or 3 years already. And my expectation from this training is to gain more knowledge about how to identify hazard and risk and how I can apply in my daily work.
Okay. Right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Next one.
Okay. Okay. So my
Yeah, so that one will cover lah. Yeah. But the rest, I think you'll cover hazard, risk, controls, probabilities, types of hazard. Hazard ni pun ada banyak jenis. Yeah, so we'll talk about the types of hazard, examples, what they are, and so on and so forth. Methods to identify hazards. Yeah. I know some people were saying, how can we identify hazards easily? Yeah. Dia hazard ni ada yang senang, ada yang not so easy lah kan. Yeah. So, but I think at least we will discuss a method that you can consider using to identify hazards. Yeah. Hopefully that will make it easier. And also about identifying and evaluating risk and hazard. Yeah. And control juga lah, untuk about control as well. Yeah. So basically, whatever you are expecting, we will cover. Yeah. So I think that's good to hear. Yeah. Alright. So that at least now that I know your expectation more specifically, I can make sure that we address it over the next 2 days. Yeah. So thank you for that. Alright. So like I said, kita akan ada banyak question, discussion, workshop, and so on. Yeah. So I want you all to work in groups. I think senang, each table one group lah. Yeah. Each table one group. Yeah. So within your team, please identify one team leader. Ya, kena appoint lah seorang team leader. Get a team name. Team name tu you buat lah apa-apa yang sesuai, yang fun ke, yang nama yang interesting ke, you can up to you. Tapi why we want to have a team group concept, team concept is because siapa yang dah pergi training saya tahulah ya. I will ask a lot of question, a lot of workshop, a lot of discussion. So siapa yang angkat tangan jawab soalan, you get points. We'll give points. So team leader ke, you record, we trust you record the points that we give. And at the end of tomorrow, the team with the highest point akan dapat special, tak ada duit lah. Special gift, ada special gift ya. Ada special gift. We have a special gift ya. So kita nak ada competition sikit lah ya. So that's the plan ya. So we have a bit of a competition here. So take 2-3 minutes. Each team identify a team leader. Figure out what's your team name. Team name tu kasihlah fun sikit, whatever it is, team name. And then I'll ask you to share lah your team name. Yeah. Okay. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Let's do it quickly.
Pasal banyak yang belah-belah.
Team leader sudah ada? Ada. Okay. Okay, let's start lah. Kita start dari team belakang. You share your team name and team leader. Team leader lah, boleh mula.
So I am leader for this.
Kamal Okay, alright.
My team name is Tusum.
Tusum. Apa maksud Tusum tu?
Two is the group is two. In English is Sam.
Sam.
SUM.
Ah.
Total is two.
Sam is two. Okay. Tusum. Okay. Tak apa. Good name. Okay, interesting. So team leader nanti as a team leader, as we give points, if any of your team members answer soalan, saya kasih point, you tulis total kat. Yeah. Right. Thank you. Next team at the back. Siapa team leader and your team name? Okay. KitKat. Pasal ada KitKat dekat meja. Okay. Alright, thank you. Wilson. Alright, this team.
I'm the team leader for this
Aziz
group.
kan?
Aziz.
Okay.
So our group name is Al Amanda.
Al Amanda. Apa signifikan? Apa dia punya? Al Amanda. Al Amanda. Okay. Okay, alright, at this team.
Okay, good morning.
Morning.
My name is Ben. Our team name House.
Haus ke? Haus. Daga. Oh, okay. Thank you, man. Alright, so remember, when you answer question, any of your team member answer question, I will give points. Yeah, so team leader, please take note of your points. So we just keep note so that by end of tomorrow you total up, then we see who wins lah. Yeah, so kita kasihlah competition sikit. Yeah, best lah dia punya hadiah tu. Okay, agenda. So very quickly, I think tadi pun kita dah mention very quickly, but we have 6 modules to go through over the next 2 days. Roughly the plan is 3 modul hari ni, 3 modul esok. Kita akan, kalau perlu kita adjust lah, but roughly that's how it's going to be. Yeah, we'll have a break at 10 o'clock for morning makan and breakfast. Yeah, kita adjust sikit. Lunch tadi pukul 12 ke 12.30? 12. Okay, so 12. Yeah. Lapar orang Sarawak cepat lapar. Okay, tak apa. Pukul 12, kita break pukul 12 ya. Boleh, tak ada masalah. Ya. 12 and then kita come back what half an hour, 45 minutes? 1 hour. Okay, so come back at 1 o'clock ya. So 12 to 1 ya. Then break again at 3 o'clock. This I adjust ya. Tak masalah. Tomorrow same thing, kita start again tomorrow pukul 9 juga. 9. Tomorrow pun pukul 9, samalah pukul 10 and petang pukul 3. Cuma esok hari kalau Jumaat macam mana? What's your normal break time for Jumaat?
Esok Jumaat.
So macam mana your
Kita start 8.30.
start 8.30 lah, awal sikit kot.
Tengah hari
Jumaat sini pukul berapa?
start kedua.
Sorry?
Tengah hari start pukul 2.
Start pukul 2. Kalau break pukul tadi sini awal sikit kan?
Pukul berapa?
Pukul 12 kan? 12.30. So break pukul 12.30
sampai 2.
2. Boleh?
Sekolah 8.
Sempat? 12.30 sempat? Okay. So 12.30 sampai 2 lah. Okay. Alright. Okay, so both days kita akan finish around 5 lah. Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah. Alright, before kita start, I want to do a quick survey. Survey ni is about your current understanding of the topic. Yeah. So, and as you do this survey, jangan buka notes. Jangan Google. Kadang-kadang pernah saya buat survey ni, orang Google cari answer, tak perlu, tak apa, it's okay. Yeah. So just use your phone, scan the QR code and answer the 10 objective questions that I provided. Yeah. So I just want to know where you are in terms of the topic. And then esok petang kita akan jawab soalan yang sama. Hopefully over the next 2 days you will pick up a couple of learnings. Yeah. So you have about 10 question, all multiple choice. Yeah. So I'll give you maybe about 5 minutes lah. Yeah. 5 minutes. Like I said, don't open your notes, don't Google, just answer what you know. Like I said, this is a safe environment. Kalau dapat, kalau tak dapat jawab semua pun tak ada masalah, because you're here to learn. Yeah, you're here to learn. So it's okay if you don't know the answers yet. Yeah. Boleh. Ada anyone have challenges to go online? Boleh. Okay. Kadang-kadang dia minta you.
Ini Google Form. Kau kena pakai Gmail.
Sometimes you can use Gmail. Dia akan minta you sign in. Ada kena sign in.
Ya, betul benar. Share,
Kalau
ambil gambar. Scan. Ini jangan pula. Scan. Boleh tak? Kalau yang dah scan tu hantar je link dekat kawan tu. Betul ni mana?
boleh tak? Boleh.
Berapa canggih training ni ya?
Alright. Dia login tak? Dia login Gmail.
Kita tak boleh buat dan tak boleh buat. Terus jawab.
Boleh?
Boleh.
Boleh kan?
Bagi dia ni.
Lupa password.
Bagi dia.
Itu saya tak boleh tolong.
Baru-baru ni.
Ini password tak ada password. What is hazard, what is risk, and we also talk about controls as well. Yeah, kita telah buat a bit of introduction. First question for you all: what is the meaning of hazard to you? Again, please use your phone, scan the QR code, type your understanding. Don't worry, ni anonymous lah. Nama you tak keluar tak apa. Tulis je apa you rasa. So kalau yang malu-malu tu tak payah malu lah, nama you tak keluar, don't worry. Yeah. What is the meaning of hazard to you? Apa ada tadi kan ada orang cakap nak tahu about hazard, knowledge about hazard kan? So what do you understand by hazard? What do you understand by hazard? Now take 30 seconds, tak payah lama ini. Just whatever comes to mind, tulis saja. Potential risk, foreign object damage that can cause harm, okay? Apa lagi? Okay, something that can harm, potential of risk. Dangers can harm you, a danger of risk. Okay. Last 10 seconds. Satu lagi. Accident that can cause harm. Okay, good. So I see a lot of people saying or mentioning about harm, yeah. So you can see here that many people mention about harm, yeah. So thank you for that. So let me just share with you what exactly is hazard, yeah. So hazard is, and I think many of you got this right, anything that has the potential to cause harm or any adverse effect, yeah? Because hazard ni, of course kita sekarang baca pasal safety lah kan. So hazard, anything that can cause harm to people. Tapi hazard can also cause adverse impact to environment, spill to the river, can also cause, kalau the fire can cause damage to equipment and asset. So adverse effect ni maksudnya selain daripada safety lah. Tapi of course harm is of course to people. So whatever that can cause harm to people is a hazard. Just now a few of you mentioned about risk or potential. Hazard and risk are two different things. So hazard is potential to cause harm. Risk is how likely is, we'll talk about it, how likely is the harm to happen. They are two different things. So harm is, whatever that can cause harm is a hazard. That's what hazard is all about. It's important to understand this because kadang-kadang orang confuse hazard and risk ni. Hazard is anything that can cause harm. And setiap tempat kerja dia punya hazard lain. Some hazards are different, but there are also some hazards that is common. Contohnya working at height dekat OSIM ke, dekat dalam plantation ke, construction bangunan ke, sama je, jatuh, samalah your hazard same kan. Tapi chemical hazard, OSIM lain. Mungkin kat sebelah SMDS lain, MLNG lain, chemical dia lain kan. So there are hazards that are same, there are hazards that are different. And when I talk about harm pun banyak level. Can be first aid, can be minor injury, can be serious injury, can also be of course fatality lah. Harm pun ada banyak spectrum dia. As long as it can cause harm, even a small injury or first aid, that's already a hazard. So it doesn't have to be a big incident. So hazard is that. A quick discussion. Kalau you tengok dalam bilik ni, apa hazard ada dekat dalam bilik ni? Sorry, kerusi. Kenapa kerusi? Tengah jalan. That's a good point. So what harm can the kerusi cause? Jatuh. Terlanggar kerusi. Then apa harm? What is the harm kalau terlanggar kerusi? Sorry? What? Dislocated. Batang kaki ya, boleh lah kan, mana tu terkehil ke apa boleh ya. So these two team 50 points each. Boleh tulis, tim boleh tulis 50 points each 50 points. Ni kau jawab tak soalan. Apa jawapan So kerusi is an example of a hazard. Apa lagi hazard dekat dalam bilik ni? Kita nampak. Pintu. Jadi choking because pakai KitKat. Betul. Betul, gula-gula KitKat boleh choke, that is a hazard. And what is the harm that can happen there? What is the harm that can happen? Cannot breathe, boleh pingsan, boleh masalah. So good. Another 50 points for that team there. Okay, apa lagi hazard dalam bilik ni? Pintu. Kenapa pintu? Tersepit. Betul. Tapi pintu betul lah, pintu kalau tersepit ataupun kalau you nak keluar orang buka pintu terkena mata kan, muka kan, itu is a hazard. So 50 points. Cepat tu. Okay, maybe one more hazard. Aircon temperature. Betul, that's true because walaupun sejuk dia mungkin taklah mati ke apa kan, tapi you can get sick. That is still harm. Impact to health is still harm. So it can still be harmful. 50 point lagi. So you can see hazard yang kita boleh continue. Electrical hazard. Kan? Boleh juga. Ini pun boleh jadi hazard. Saya terlanggar. Jatuh hazard So hazard is around us. Kat rumah ke, kita tengah mandi ke, tengah makan ke, hazard is everywhere around us. Dekat plant of course more lah but hazard is always there. So it's about how kita keep an eye on and look for it and identify. It can be anywhere. Cuma kita kadang-kadang bila dah biasa kat meeting room, kita dah orang kata apa, dah sensitized or kita take it easy a bit lah. Tapi hazard tu ada. It is always around us. So I think that's one thing I want you to take away. That it is always hazard dekat mana-mana pun. Even you walk pun if you're not careful, it's a hazard. You walk sampai pegang handphone kan. Even the act of walking can be hazard if you're not careful. So some people say how can we identify hazard easily? Actually nak identify hazard tak susah. It's always around you. As long as you keep your eyes open, you are conscious about what's happening, you akan nampak semua ni. Hazard tu sentiasa ada. Dia fokus ataupun you just be more diligent lah. Jangan be too kadang-kadang kita complacent kan. Dah biasa kan. So tapi kalau kita be more diligent, we'll see. How about hazards in your workplace? What are examples of hazard at back in OSIM? Chemical. Splash. Splash. Yeah. Working at height. Working at height. Yeah. Confined space. Those are hazards. Apa lagi? Fire is a hazard. Yeah. Sorry? Explosion. Yeah. Explosion is an consequence. Tapi the hazard is more ada petrol ke, ada gas ke. That's a hazard. Huh? H2 ke, you know? Maintenance is an activity. What is the hazard of the maintenance activity? Mungkin hazard dia working with hot material kan. Falling object. Tikus can be hazard. Dia droppings kalau you can. Sorry? Trap pressure, stored energy So ini macam dah baca note saja bukan Bukan okay. Hazard. So I think you all get the picture lah. Hazard bukan saja ada di rumah, di plant of course adalah kan. So I think all teams contributed, so semua team dapat 50 points. Thank you. So hazard is there around us, whether it's always there. Now we've talked about what is hazard, and we spoke about some examples about hazard here and in the plant. Tapi kalau kita tengok hazard ni dia banyak kategori. So if you go online, ada kata 6 kategori, ada kata 5 kategori, So there's a lot of definitions here. But I go by this 6 category definition lah. Ada 6 category of hazard. So why I think it's important you all tahu kategori ni ada few, because kadang-kadang kita nampak yang obvious safety ni orang nampak, chemical orang nampak, tapi some people tak nampak biological hazard, economic hazard, because hazard tu dia macam-macam jenis. Not only what's obvious, can be something that's less obvious. And some hazard dia mungkin takkan impact you today, mungkin impact dia 10-15 years long term. So benda tu hazard, whether dia impact sekarang atau impact in long term, sama, it's still a hazard. Cuma kadang-kadang long term ni orang ambil mudah sikit, pasal ini tak ada apa-apa kan, kita pegang minyak semua kan, tapi sekarang tak ada apa, tapi 15-20 years we don't know kan. So hazard is always there. So we'll talk a bit about these 6 types of hazard, what they are, so that you have a bit of understanding. So safety hazard ni is the one that is most common lah. Dekat dalam plant, mana-mana plant pun is the most common. When you work with machinery, when you work with operating plants or construction site, safety hazard ni akan ada. It's the most common. So I think tadi pun you dah mention a few lah, working at height, confined space. So those are examples of what you call safety hazards. So let's talk about the harm. Tripping and sleeping kita dah baca tadi, boleh patah kaki and so on. So I think it's fine. Working at height, what can happen when you work at height? Fall. Lagi? Hanging. So kadang-kadang orang ingat when you fall at height it's obvious, tapi kadang even when you wear harness, you fall, harness tangkap you duduk dekat hanging tu, that's also a hazard. Kalau you hung on harness for too long, people have died because your blood circulation stop. So it's not about falling, but if you suspended lama-lama sangat pun, you can also get harm. So even the act of what happens after that can also cause harm. So that's why some companies they beli harness yang ada certain protection lah. You beli diri on the harness so that your blood circulation doesn't stop. Contohnya. So if you understand that the hazard is not only about falling, it's about suspension trauma dia panggil, then you have to manage that suspension trauma punya hazard juga, just not about falling protection. So falling, that's true. Moving machinery and unguarded machinery, pump coupling pusing, ada I don't know, at the workshop you have certain kind of milling machines ke apa and so on kan. So what kind of hazards could that cause? What harm can that cause? Hand injury. Hand injury.
Entanglement.
Sorry?
Entanglement.
Sorry?
Entanglement.
Entanglement. Entanglement. Yes, you understand what's entanglement? Entanglement. So contohnya macam when you work around those kind of equipment, biasanya kalau ada orang rambut panjang kan apa kan? Ladies tu, make sure you don't get too close because your contohnya, or if your clothes are too loose, you can get entangled. Yeah? So that's a good point. Yeah. Electrical hazard. What is the harm that can occur there? The shock? Human terbakar damage. Have you all? That's I think that's. Have you heard about arcing? Arcing kan. So contohnya electrical hazard ni, orang very clear bila you touch, you can shock kan. Tapi even if you are close enough, elektrik boleh lompat to you kan. That's what we call arcing. Yeah. So each hazard ni dia ada detail punya tu is important to understand. Like working height, it's not only about falling, it's about suspension trauma. Electrical is not only about touching, but it's about arcing, for example. So those detail can only come if you look at it and analyze. Yeah, but those hazards are there. Confined space. Yes, sorry.
About touching and arcing.
Arcing, yeah.
How they impact to our body or our injury? How serious is it?
Both can cause fatality lah. They actually both are serious. Yeah. Cuma protection dia lain. For electrical, basically it's not about touching lah kan. And not about touching, it's also not making sure that when you touch something is isolated. Tapi when it comes to arcing, satu, kalau you don't have to work near it, there is certain distance you don't get close. Kalau perlu dekat, some people dia akan pakai arcing punya suit, dia arcing suit. If you look at your substation, kadang-kadang dia ada rubber mats. So dia punya what the harm it causes because sama. Cuma dia punya protection tu lain. Satu lagi, electrical shock, when you touch, more impact to people. Arcing not only impact to people, the harm is also to the asset. Dia boleh cause fire, explosion semua.
Because we have about one incident past few years that we switch on our reactor, then even that that job is normal routine, suddenly happened.
Arcing.
Maybe not arcing. I think miscommunication or something that the reactor is still ongoing, running, but they switch off.
So was there anyone got hurt?
No, just
Near miss lah.
Yeah, near miss.
Yeah, so between electrocution dengan arcing punya injury dia bukan sama. Cuma arcing can cause asset damage, but protection is a bit different between the two. Yeah? So that's about controls lah. Once you know the hazard, then you define the controls. So like I said, kalau you nampak hazard dia electrocution, dia punya control lain. Loto kan is a control. Arcing control dia loto boleh juga, tapi arcing even if you jalan sebelah transformer yang high voltage can happen. That's why transformer besar-besar dia ada fencing kan, because that fencing is the control. Dia tak nak orang masuk dalam tengok-tengok, because arcing can happen. So control for arcing is different. So you need to know the hazard, because the control needs to be linked to the hazard. Kalau you apply control yang salah, then the hazard will happen lah. The hazard will be risky. So that's why identifying hazard is important, because it is the starting point for you to identify the risk, then identify the controls. Kalau you terlepas identify hazard, then you don't put the controls. Ataupun you tersalah identify hazard, then you put in the wrong controls. Yeah, so hazard identification is a key starting point for your safety management lah. Lepas tu, yeah. Alright, so I think dah pukul 10. So I think kita stop sini kejap for break. Yeah, 10:02 now. So let's 10:02. Let's take a 15 minutes break. We come back at 10:17. 10:17 Please come back here on time. Thank you very much. Okay. Alright, semua sudah kenyang Dah, okay. Alhamdulillah, bagus. So, tadi ada cadangan pasal tim belakang tu dia first balik. Dia on time. So dia perlu makan. Saya rasa boleh lah. Betul? Boleh. Good proposal. Saya setuju. Dia first, betul. Dia on time, paling cepat. On time ya. So keluar awal? Balik panjang. Yang penting balik on time. Alright, okay guys. Tadi masa makan apa hazard dia? Tercekik kan? Ada garpu tajam, air panas. So, yalah hazard ada macam-macam ya. Okay, so we spoke about safety hazard. So safety hazard like I said, benda yang paling banyak di plan lah ya. Pekerjaan di plan, masa maintenance work memang akan ada safety hazard. Next one pun memang banyak ada di plan, chemical hazard. Now chemical hazard setiap universiti lain lah ya, di OSIM lain, di plan lain. So tapi chemical hazard as you know, ada yang flammable ya, ada yang toxic ya, ada yang explosive, ada asphyxiant yang menyebabkan susah nak bernafas, you know. So there are different types of chemicals ya. And chemicals can be in gas, can be in liquids, can also be solids. So different types of hazard. So let's talk about some examples. So maybe talk about your examples. What examples of hazards do you have at OSIM? Chemical hazards. Silan. Okay. Apa hazard silan? Harmful dari segi corrosive to skin semua lah.
Environmental.
Yeah. So that's an example. Hazard is silan. The harm that it can cause is what call skin burns lah. Skin burns kan. Skin burns kalau kena mata pun irritation kan. Kalau teringest inhale, boleh inhale lah. Boleh inhale. So yeah. So it's not only, it's a lot of things lah. Dia harmful to the skin, harmful to the eyes. Kalau ingest pun it can affect interior, you know.
If it contact to the outside, cause many fumes.
Sorry?
Many fumes.
Fumes. Boleh terbakar. So it can also flammable, be cause fire and so on. Yeah. So you can see even one chemical, the way it can cause harm macam-macam cara. Yeah, to person, to asset, even to person, skin, eyes, kalau terhidu, termakan. So those are, even though hazard dia satu, tapi the way it causes harm can be multiple ways. Yeah, so just keep in mind. Doesn't mean one hazard, one way of causing harm. One hazard can cause harm in multiple ways. Yeah? And different types of ways a hazard causes harm requires different control. Kalau skin burns, control dia mungkin coverall. Yeah? Proper management of course, but coverall is one way. Yeah? Tapi kalau from a inhalation point of view, what will be the control? Respirator kan? You know, so yes, so that's why you have to identify the hazard first, then only and the way it causes harm, then baru you can put in controls. Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah? So apa lagi selain daripada silin? HCl. Yeah, so again corrosive. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so 50 point each lah these two things. Yeah. Thank you. So corrosive yang dah bincang. Toxic. So toxic, you know, sealant can be toxic, but if you have pesticides can be toxic. Ammonia can be caustic if you have ammonia. Ada ammonia dekat. Ammonia can be toxic as well, you know. Ammonia can be toxic, yeah. So carbon monoxide can be toxic, boleh menyebabkan ngantuk, boleh menyebabkan orang pingsan, yeah. So they all explosive, ada LPG, ada petrol ke, you know, those can explode. Natural gas ke, you know, can explode. Do you have natural gas? Tak ada natural gas. Methanol. Methanol is very explosive as well, yeah. So that another type of hazard. Flammable, diesel, fuel oil ni flammable ni dia lebih susah nak bakar, tapi dia boleh terbakar lah, ya. But it's a bit difficult, but can burn. Yeah. Dan do not to forget asphyxiant, benda yang menyukarkan kita bernafas. Nitrogen lah biasanya kan. Nitrogen, carbon monoxide can also be an asphyxiant, yeah, but mostly nitrogen lah. You all perasan tak dekat tempat makan tadi ada satu alam dengan signboard. Apa dia tulis? Pasal you all tak tengok hazard. Tak pasal hazard. Dekat luar tadi ada satu hazard CO2. Dekat belakang ambil tempat you ambil makan tadi kan. Tapi belakang tu ada satu alam. Dia ada signboard. Beware of, do not enter because CO2. Belakang tu ada dia punya electrical punya panels. So biasanya bila ada electrical panels, kalau ada fire dia akan sembuh CO2 kan. So CO2 is an asphyxiant. If someone goes in there, when disembuh CO2, orang tu boleh pingsan dan boleh mati lah. So you see, you have to be very aware about the hazards around you. Yeah, this is always there. Yeah. So those are chemicals. Yeah. So these are the types of chemicals that you have in OSIM. Silane kita dah bincang, TCS and STC. Also the types of chemicals that you have, yeah, from my understanding lah, yeah. So if you look at to identify what exact hazard each chemical does, where can you get the information from? SDS lah, safety data sheet is MSDS, SDS is a good place to get information. So from that also you can normally identify, you know, orang kata ni this what you call a hazard diamond kan? I forgot it. Hazard diamond, yeah. So you can see, is it how hazard from a health point of view, what's a fire hazard, how reactive it is, any other specific hazards, yeah. So dia ada number dia. Kalau you tengok online, you can see lah 4 masuk apa, 3 masuk apa and so on, yeah. But generally the higher the number, the more dangerous it is lah, yeah. Macam you can see that silane is much more flammable compared to STC. Betul ke? Kan? Yeah. It's 4 and 0. Yeah. And if you look at health hazard, TCS and STC is more than silane, for example. Yeah. Semua ni you can find SDS, you can find online. Semua tu ada. Yeah, tak. So you can, but the importance of understanding this is because if you know what is more hazardous and what type of hazard or harm it can cause, you can manage better. Yeah. Contohnya macam if you look at TCS and STC, dia kata it will react with water, betul? So cannot use water. Yeah. So this hazard diamond is available untuk semua chemical. You can look at it on SDS, you can go online, dan itu ada. Yeah, you can find it. Yeah. So again, you need to not only know what the hazards are, you need to know how it can cause harm, and that one requires a bit more analysis, a bit more understanding, a bit more reading lah. Yeah, because like I said, setiap hazard tu cara dia impact people berbeza. So that one requires you to go into a bit more detail lah. Yeah. That one there's no other way to it. Memang you kena tengok, baca, talk to people, do a analysis and so on. Yeah, that one requires a bit of thinking, a bit of work. Yeah. Fire diamonds. Yeah, fire diamonds. Okay, the other thing to be aware of is chemical. If you talk about how the hazard creates harm to people, dia ada 4 cara chemicals impact people. 4 cara. Okay. Macam mana chemical dalam dunia ni pun ada 4 cara. Yeah, whatever it is. Satu, inhalation. Maknanya when you inhale a chemical, it then causes harm inside your body. Inhalation. Apa contoh chemical that we can inhale?
Silang gas.
Silan gas. Sorry? Chlorine gas, nitrogen. Belakang tim belakang. Senyap tim belakang ni. Malu-malu kan? Ada. Any inhalation. H2S, H2S you kalau H2S tu very strong, 1 2 hidu you dah boleh pingsan, mati. Bukan pingsan, boleh mati terus, ya. You sedut sekali dah boleh mati. H2S contohnya, ya. So that's inhalation. So inhalation when you inhale, it goes to your lungs, then the harm comes. That's inhalation. Next is absorption through the skin. So when it hits your skin, it hits your eyes, then the harm happens. Dia tak perlu masuk dalam. Dari luar kena dah cukup. Contohnya macam nitrogen. The hazard is through inhalation. Tapi nitrogen kena skin tak ada apa kan? Nothing happens, ya. Just so it's not harmful from an absorption point of view, it's harmful from inhalation point of view. Absorption contohnya acid. Acid kalau kena skin, it will impact you lah, for sure, chemical burns. Kalau minum pun sama jugalah kan. So but inhale acid, normally you cannot inhale acid lah unless dia panas, dia but normally inhalation acid is less of an issue. It does happen though, ada juga, tapi normally it's more absorption. So what? So acid, caustic, some types of chemicals are cancerous. For example, benzene. Benzene. Kalau petrol yang banyak benzene, you know, when I used to work refinery dulu, macam muda-muda mana tahu kan kita pegang ni semua. But the harm may not come immediate. 15-20 years, you know, all this cancer comes back kan. So absorption can be short term, can be long term. Inhalation tends to be a bit more immediate lah. Yeah, absorption can be short term, can be long term. Yeah, so again, kadang-kadang orang nampak hazard impact near term, tapi orang tak nampak long term pun ada impact juga. So you have to look at long term impact for absorption especially. Yeah. Next one is ingestion. Certain hazards when you ingest will be harmful. Acid, caustic of course juga lah, ya. Satu lagi yang kadang orang terlupa, pesticides. Ni maybe in your industry not as much, tapi if you go to estates, you know, dia banyak pakai pesticides. And if you don't wash the hand properly, dia, you know, ingestion over time it will be harmful lah, ya. So whatever that you ingest, you termakan, terminum, ya. Another example is kalau you drink water that is contaminated, biological hazards, ya. The harm will be to your health lah, ya. Demam, sakit, you know, so that's the thing. Injection. Last but not least, injection. Ini gambar ni tulis injection lah, you know, yang busy. Tapi indirectly ada juga injection yang tak disengajakan. Contohnya you terpegang benda yang tajam, cuts your finger. Kadang as you cut tu pun dia akan something will go in. Yeah? When you cut yourself on rust, benda yang berkarat, kan? So dia punya impact is because when you cut yourself, something happens, something goes in to your bloodstream and then something happens, kan? So whenever something cuts you or, you know, pokes you and so on, you could be injecting something into your body, and that can be a hazard as well. Ini basically kalau you buat kerja, you terpotong your jari ke, bukan terpotong jari lah, you cut your finger and so on, you can cause things to be injected into your body, yeah? So normally orang tak perasan sangat, but especially when you know you're working around biological hazard. Contohnya macam kalau you know people are doing cleaning, memang banyak tempat, contohnya banyak bat punya, kelawar punya droppings ke, banyak tikus punya droppings ke, so on kan. Kalau terpotong masuk dalam tangan ke, you know, ataupun teringest, ada one memang orang akan sakit quite serious lah contohnya. So be mindful that injection is also another route of how hazard can cause harm. Not only the obvious, termakan, terhidu, terkena skin. Injection is also quite harmful depending on industry lah, yeah. So ada 4 cara, yeah. So keep in mind whatever chemicals that you have, when you manage it, keep in mind, okay, can it cause inhalation hazard? Is it an ingestion hazard? Is it an injection hazard, or is it a absorption hazard? You need requires you to think, and then once you think, then you put in control. Because again, if you don't understand how the hazard causes harm, you cannot put in the right control. Setiap cara masuk ni require different control. What control that will stop inhalation will not likely stop absorption. What will stop absorption may not stop ingestion, for example. Yeah. Inhalation and ingestion mungkin sama lah, because dia kalau cover mulut dan your nose kan. Yeah. So again, I can't stress enough, you need to know not only the hazard, but how the hazard causes harm. Yeah. That's very important. Yeah. Any question on chemical hazards? The other one that is not here, ni causes harm on individuals. Yeah. Tapi we're not going to go into detail about process safety hazards. Process safety hazard is benda meletup, terbakar, you know. That one on its own is its own topic lah. Tapi bear in mind, chemicals can also explode, can also be flammable. And that one, of course, tak ada kena-mengena dengan this one lah. Not absorption, yeah. It's when something happens, the fire occurs, and that fire causes it hurt people. Yeah? So be mindful that besides these four, the impact of fires and explosion can also impact people. Yeah, that's on top of this. Right, physical. Now, physical hazards is about your surrounding. Yeah, environment, work environment. Yeah. Tadi sama cakap bilik ni terlampau sejuk, kan? That is an example of a physical hazard. Terlampau hot pun is a physical hazard. Yeah. Terlampau bising is a hazard. Your hearing can be impacted. Yeah. So it's about it's not about the plant. Well, it is about the plant, but it's about the environment that you work in lah. Yeah. That is the physical hazard. So benda ni is sometimes may not be obvious. Again, you have to take a step back and analyse. Okay, besides orang tu buat hot work, grinding dia, keliling dia macam mana? Kadang-kadang benda tu di keliling dia. Kalau you tengok kerja dia buat hot work aja, welding, you takkan nampak what's around that person. Yeah, because this about the environment around it. Kalau orang tengah buat welding sini, sebelah sini dia buat grinding dekat-dekat. So if for this person, he has the safety hazard, but physical hazard around him too, there's another hazard kan. So he needs to be aware that around him there's something else as well. Contohnya, yeah. So physical is about what is going around, what happening around that person lah. Yeah. So included radiation. Ada tak dalam your plant yang pakai level indicator radiation ke? Ada kan? So radiation is a physical hazard. Is there? Kalau dekat, yalah, then it's a cancerous, it's a radiation punya exposure kan. Yeah. At the lab, for example, if you have lab analysis that requires some radiation punya source, contohnya, then that's also a hazard for your lab technicians, contohnya. So radiation is there, it can cause hazards juga lah. Sunlight and UV can cause skin cancer. Not Malaysia not so much lah, tapi skin burns lah kalau ada pun, kalau banyak sangat. Cold and hot temperatures you mentioned, yeah. Cold and hot can cause yes, go ahead.
For UV time, how long that we can stay? Or we don't need to come to the. I mean,
you're talking about UV. You're talking UV about the sun. Yeah. The sun lah. That's a good question. I think kita dekat. I mean, talking about Malaysia in specific, kita somehow we are not so much impacted, maybe because of our skin a bit darker and so on. So naturally we have protection by how we have a bit more, I don't know what you call it, protection lah. Tapi if you go to negara-negara Mat Saleh, contohnya macam dekat Australia, yeah, dia memang dalam dia akan cakap hari ni kalau keluar mesti pakai topi. Contohnya hari ni kalau keluar you can stay outside only 1 hour. They will actually say that. Sekolah semua dia akan cakap everyday. Kat sini our issue with UV is not as high, tapi dibantu kepada orang jugalah, ya. So but in Malaysia as far as I know tak ada clear guidance lah. Generally orang kata if you are going to go out a lot of time and get exposed, pakai sunscreen, pakai sunblock, pakai topi and so on. But if you contohnya dalam plant, kadang-kadang you kerja di bawah private rack, kan, so not so much of an issue lah. But if you do intend to go out to the plant for prolonged periods, pakai overall long sleeve, hard hat semua, in a way protects you juga. Yeah. So I think in that sense, kat Malaysia not as critical, I would say. Yeah. Loud noise. Yeah. Loud noise is one of those things that you takkan rasa impact immediately. Lepas 5-10 tahun tiba-tiba rasa telinga kanan ni kenapa dah macam kurang dengar kan. So itu you dah terlambat baru tahu lah ya. You all ada buat audiometry test.